Atlanta, Georgia is a most contemporary city. Mod, sophisticated, and progressive. Her citizens approach their nightlife and their football with equal fervor. Today, 58,000 came to beautiful Atlanta Stadium to watch the Falcons' 1970 home opener against the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers, like their namesakes, were on a mission. They were out to win their first 3 games for the first time since 1952. But they would have their hands full, for the Falcons, too, were off to an encouraging start. Randy Johnson, last year's starting Falcon quarterback, was replaced by Coach Norm Van Brocklin with Bob Berry. And Berry broke club records last week with 28 completions for 302 yards in a narrow loss to the Packers. Van Brocklin has molded Atlanta into a contender, but will today have to beat a 49er team that finally looks like the real McCoy. It was a beautiful day for football. The sun was out, and so were the dollies from Dixie. What remained to be seen was whether the Falcons football team, like its namesake, could soar to new heights. I'm Andy Musser, and this is the NFL Game of the Week, the Atlanta Falcons versus the San Francisco 49ers. The first quarter saw both teams unable to score at all. The Falcons, however, were able to consistently move the ball, and this was due to the running of number 33, Jim Cannonball Butler. At 5'10", 200 pounds, Butler's low center of gravity enables him to keep his balance longer than taller backs, and the 6-year veteran from Edward Waters College ripped off some long gainers against a 49er defense that ranked 8th against the rush. Quarterback Bob Berry also had some success passing in the first quarter. With great protection, here he was able to hit number 15, Gail Cogdell, on a sideline pattern. Even with a strong ground game mixed with a few passes, Berry and the Falcons failed to make the key plays. Once, Berry was almost intercepted on an underthrown bomb. Another time, Berry was on target, but his receiver, Jim Mitchell, caught a quick case of board hands. And on another series, the Cannonball himself became cannon fodder for the 49ers when he fumbled away another Falcon opportunity. The 49ers, too, started out by moving the ball well in the strong running of number 42, Doug Cunningham. But quarterback John Brody was not up to his league-leading passing prowess in the first quarter. Early in the quarter, he got a break when number 66, John Small, intercepted, then fumbled away an attempted Brody pass. Throughout the period, it was evident that Brody, a scratch golfer, was not up to par on the gridiron. Much of Brody's trouble, however, was coming from the Falcon defense. Led by number 87, Claude Humphrey, the 49ers could muster only 1 first down until the final play of the quarter. On the last play of the period, the 49ers finally struck gold. Brody let fly a perfect pass to rookie receiver Preston Riley for his first completion of the game, 68 yards to the Falcon 21. On a replay, we can see that once he caught the ball, Riley quickly lost his defender. He was helped by a block from Gene Washington, and only the speed of cornerback Ken Reeves saved a touchdown as the quarter ended. Brody then came right back to Riley for another first down at the Falcons' 9 to open the second quarter. From here, it took setback Ken Willard 3 plays to score. On third down from the 3, Willard swept left and hit pay dirt. On a replay of the score, watch left guard Randy Beisler, number 65, clear Willard's path. Though outplayed so far, the 49ers led 7-0. The San Francisco defense seemed to come to life after the touchdown. A great individual effort by 49er Bill Belk proved that the quarterback option should have been left on the campus from whence it came. But the Falcons soon were rolling again. Berry hit Gale Cogdell, the 11-year veteran from Washington State, and Cannonball Butler twisted his way into 49er territory. But here again, Atlanta could not sustain its drive, and rookie place kicker Ken Vineyard would try to put the Falcons on the board from midfield. Vineyard watched as his 50-yard attempt went wide to the right. The Falcons again came up empty. The 49er offense could do no better. Don Hanson refused to fall for a Brody fake on a perfect blitz by a linebacker. When Brody needed 6 on third down, 6'5" John Small squelched the play 1 yard short. The Falcons' defense again had held San Francisco to 1 first down for the quarter. Later in the half, Atlanta again looked good for a while. Big Jim Mitchell, number 86, got the ball rolling. But on third down, Cannonball Butler's second fumble of the game cost the Falcons a possible first down. Though Atlanta recovered, they had to punt. Then, with 1:40 to go in the half, Bob Berry led the Falcons on a textbook 2-minute drill, using number 85, the veteran Paul Flatley, as his prime target. The Dutchman himself couldn't have done better. The drive consisted of 10 plays, and 9 of them were passes. With his offensive line giving him plenty of time, Berry was able to find the gaps in the 49ers' prevent zone defense, and his receivers were able to be there when the ball arrived. Tight end Jim Mitchell took a Berry pass off a 49er defender to the 2. One official thought the ball had first hit Mitchell's own man, but was overruled. Then from the 2, Berry sent Butler flaring out of the backfield, and he went in untouched. On a replay of the score, Berry got a block from his other back, Paul Gibson, and easily hit the cannonball all alone to tie the game at 7. The Falcons had dominated every phase of play, but had muffed several chances to take a lead, while the 49ers looked like they were panning for goal instead of the goal line. Yet they were still very much in the game as the half ended. As the second half of this tie game began, it was apparent that for San Francisco to win, they would have to open up their passing attack. John Brody, the leading passer in the league, had completed only 3 in the entire first half. Bill Tucker's 29-yard kickoff return gave the 49ers good field position on the 38. The men from the Golden Gate started with a ground game that was almost non-existent in the first half. So when the Falcons stacked up Doug Cunningham for no gain, Brody went to the air and stayed there. He hit Gene Washington on the flat for 12 yards, then went to his big tight end Bob Windsor over the middle for 16 and a first down on the Atlanta 21. The Falcons were reeling now, and Brody wisely stayed with the pass. He found Washington again on the square-out pattern, and San Francisco was at the Falcon goal. On the 2, Brody rolled right, and Windsor made a nice catch just in bounds for the score. For the first time, the 49ers looked like the same team that had knocked off the Browns and Redskins. The Falcons, too, were off and winging when Paul Flatley took a 30-yard pass over his shoulder at the left sideline. Atlanta then began running right at San Francisco's frontline defense. Cannonball Butler was the weapon, and he was an effective one. In the first half alone, the little setback gained 73 yards on the ground. A repeat of Cannonball's last run shows a key block by number 5, Harmon Wages, on the outside linebacker. It appeared the Falcons would duplicate San Francisco's scoring drive, but Cannonball Butler fumbled when hit by Charlie Kruger, and Tommy Hart fell on the ball to end the threat. The 49ers had the break they had been looking for and were now determined to exploit it. Ken Willard, who had been completely stopped in the first half, was sent pounding into Atlanta's line for sizable gains. Brody really had his team in high gear now as he mixed the power thrusts of Ken Willard with the short passes that are his trademark. This is the year John Brody is determined to disprove the theory that he is strictly a hot and cold passer. The first 2 games of the season were outstanding ones for the 14-year veteran. He was named Back of the Week for his performance against Washington and brought his team from behind to beat the powerful Browns in the season's second game. The 49ers' momentum came to an abrupt halt on the Atlanta 19, however. First, reliable Doug Cunningham just barely missed a looping pass. Then a Brody bullet was deflected in the end zone by Ken Reeves. A repeat of this play shows that Brody was under some pressure just as he unloaded, but it still took a fine play in the secondary to save the touchdown for Atlanta. Bruce Gossett kicked a field goal from the 27 to put the 49ers even further out in front, 17-7. Gossett was the 3rd leading scorer in the NFL last season and is an important addition to this improved San Francisco team. Gossett is significant not only for his point-scoring ability, but his kickoff power. He consistently drives the ball deep in the end zone. Falcon rookie Art Malone, their number 2 draft choice from Arizona State, could bring this Gossett kick only to the 20. With the quarter drawing to a close and losing by 10 points, Atlanta had to make its move if it was going to get back in this ball game, the home opener for the Falcons. Bob Berry passed for a quick first down by going to Old Pro Paul Flatley. Flatley, who was being covered by rookie Bruce Taylor, was the leading receiver in the game with 6 catches. Then Cannonball Butler tore through the right side for 29 yards and another Falcon first down. A repeat vividly shows Butler's style, the quick start and good balance that compensates for average speed and lack of size. Just as the Falcons were flying, misfortunes again came in clusters. A flat pass to Butler was nullified by a holding penalty, and on the next play, Berry was steamrollered by number 72, Bill Belk. A repeat of this play reveals Belk managed to get lost in a sea of humanity and then, completely unnoticed, made straight for the Falcon quarterback. Berry did come right back to Jim Mitchell for a 17-yard completion, but it had been a 3rd and 39 situation, and Atlanta had to give up the ball as the 3rd period ended. A Billy Lothridge punt was the first play of the 4th quarter, and number 44, Bruce Taylor, showed why he was the 49ers' first draft pick. The rookie from Boston University flashed 40 yards with the punt. Two plays later, Ken Willard gave the ball right back as John Zook fell on his fumble at the 47. Bob Berry wasted no time in taking advantage. He threw over the middle to Big Jim Mitchell, who rumbled to the 24. Mitchell, who had scored 2 touchdowns against San Francisco in the season's opener last year, was pulled down by his face mask, so Atlanta got an additional 12 yards on the play. Another look shows that Berry's excellent fake on the play action to Butler held the defense long enough and gave the quarterback plenty of time to get off his toss. The rest was all Mitchell. Atlanta seemed to have a difficult time holding on to the ball all day. And on a pass intended for Flatley, they almost had another turnover. But with 3rd and 7, Berry hit Mitchell for the score, and the Falcons now trail by only 3, 17-14. Rookie place kicker Ken Binyard kicked to the 49er 5, and Bill Tucker almost brought it right back. His return was good for 43 yards. Again, their specialty teams had given San Francisco excellent field position. Brody seemed content to stay on the ground, with Doug Cunningham doing most of the running. On a 3rd and 5 situation at the Atlanta 35, he passed to Tucker, who was tackled 1 yard short of the first down. So Bruce Gossett was called upon, and he delivered from the 43-yard line. San Francisco now led 20-14. Atlanta couldn't seem to stop the 49er offense. As for their own attack, it was having trouble holding on to the ball. Art Malone's fumble on the kickoff following Gossett's field goal kept Atlanta deep in its own territory. And on the very next play, the usually reliable Butler fumbled for the 4th time in the game. This set a new Falcon one-game record. But the Cannonball balanced the scales. His 127 yards rushing also was a Falcon one-game record. Another look at this play shows Butler stumble over his own blocker before being sandwiched between 2 defenders. For the first time in the half, Bob Berry threw deep, and his bomb just barely eluded Jim Mitchell. Atlanta gave up the football, and for the first time in the half, their defense asserted itself. A ferocious rush by Claude Humphrey, number 87, and Glenn Condren, number 88, resulted in Brody's 2nd sack of the day. In his previous 2 games, Brody was downed only once. But the Falcon aggressiveness betrayed them when Steve Spurrier punted. The roughing the kicker penalty is harsh but wise, for a kicker is extremely vulnerable with one leg in the air. Spurrier, number 11, was vulnerable, and Atlanta had paid for it. Instead of gaining possession, they lost it and gave up 5 yards to boot. Then came the biggest break in a game that abounded in turnovers. Doug Cunningham swung wide left, found some running room, but fumbled when hit. The ball bounced perfectly to number 20, safety Tom McCauley, and he raced 42 yards with the gift. John Brody himself made the tackle at the San Francisco 13. This unusual play deserves another look. Cunningham, with a full head of steam, was hit simultaneously low and high. This caused the fumble, and McCauley had clear sailing down the right sideline until pinched in by Brody. Rookie running back Sonny Campbell got the call twice to move the ball to the 7. Then Berry on 3rd down had the ball batted at the line and almost intercepted. Fourth down. Atlanta decided to go for the touchdown. Berry threw his 3rd scoring pass of the game to Gail Cogdell, who made a great catch for the score that put Atlanta in the lead for the first time today. With over 3 minutes left in the game, there was still plenty of time left for San Francisco. No one knew it better than the old pro John Brody. After Tucker took the kickoff out to the 27, Brody led a slow but steady march upfield. He mixed his plays beautifully. Cunningham in the middle, Willard through the right, the short hitch pass to Washington. Always the thrusts were short, deliberate, and cool. When a pass to number 85, rookie Preston Riley, was overthrown in the flat, Brody came right back with the same play and made it work. What always worked, though, was Ken Willard. The fourth-ranked runner in the conference ran for 90 yards today. San Francisco was moving closer. Brody swung a pass to Cunningham, who managed to get out of bounds. Closer still. With only 6 seconds left in the game, Bruce Gossett trotted out to do his specialty for the third time today. There are those who maintain that the short field goal has become almost automatic. But Bruce Gossett's chip shot from the 19 was no good. And what appeared to be a certain third straight 49er victory had become a disheartening defeat. San Francisco's search for consistency must continue. For the Atlanta team and their fans and jubilant coach Norm Van Brocklin, it was the perfect way to end a home opener. Van Brocklin's youngsters are now 2-1 and are proving that their strong finish in 1969 was no fluke. The Falcons are a strong organization with excellent coaching and a young defense that can only get better. But the greatest improvement has been where it was needed most. At quarterback, Bob Berry is making his 6th season his finest. He ranks as the 5th leading passer in the league, and last week set club records in 3 categories. If Berry can remain healthy, this young ball club under the Dutchman's guidance could very well challenge the Rams for the top spot in the Western Division.